Chances are, if you clicked on this video, you know exactly what it is we'll be going over. In case you don't, though, I'll take some time to fully explain what you'll learn from this video. First of all, I'll explain what Ocarina of Time Online actually is. Then, how you could set it up and play for yourself. After that, I'll show you how to set up some optional things like a randomizer and mods for both quality of life and cosmetics. All of the songs and resources I use will be linked down in the description below, so feel free to follow along with the video as you set it up for yourself. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is the first 3D entry in the video game series The Legend of Zelda. While Zelda games are usually meant for one person to play at a time, a group of talented developers made a mod for the game allowing multiple people to play together online. While there's lots of fun to be had playing the game with your friends, there's still something in this video for those of you looking to play alone. The most important part of emulating a game is the emulator itself, so the first thing you'll want to do is search up ModLoader64 in your browser or click the link in the description. You can download the latest version of ModLoader64 by clicking the word zip in the first step listed on the website. You should also download the file called ootonline.pack while you're there. Create a new folder on your desktop called Zelda and move the two files you just downloaded into that folder. Extract the modloader file in your new folder. You can use WinRAR for this or any other zip managing software like 7-zip. This might take a while based on the computer you're using, but just be patient. You can delete the zip file when it's done extracting because you won't need it. After that, open the ModLoader64 folder and then launch the ModLoader64 GUI.exe. This is so that the emulator can set up for the first time, and also because we have to set things up ourselves. When it's done opening, click on the Mods tab and then click on Open Mods folder. This is where we can put the ootonline.pack file that we downloaded earlier. Go ahead and close your File Explorer windows and then click Refresh Mods and enable OOT Online. Then we'll put the game in. Click on the Games tab and then open Games folder. This is where you'll put in your own ROM of Ocarina of Time. I'll go into more detail later on how you can get your ROM. Go back to ModLoader and refresh your games. Then select The Legend of Zelda. We're almost done, but we're not quite there yet. Here you'll see three text fields. One is for your username, one is for the name of the server you'll be playing on, and one is for the password to that server. You can decide your username yourself, but the name of the server should be something you share with your friends. You can decide whether or not you want a password. Here I set my username to Logan, and I set the server name to Zelda. I decided I didn't need a password. To play with your friends, just set the same server name and password as them. If you don't want to play with anyone, then you can check the box labeled Offline Mode before you start the game. The first time booting the game up will take longer than every other time following it. That's because the emulator is configuring itself for the first time. It won't have to do that any other time you open the game. And just like that, you're done. You can play Zelda with all your friends now, or just by yourself if you want. Now, I'll show you where to get your copy of Ocarina of Time. So, here's the deal. For those of you not in the know, this is the only way to legally obtain your own copy of Ocarina of Time. You'll need something that can read Nintendo 64 cartridges and download them onto your computer, and an original copy of Ocarina of Time. Realistically, you have neither of those things, but I'll link the cartridge feeder in the description for those of you who want to buy it. For the ones who don't want to spend that much money, you can head to the description and find the link labeled Mega Thread. After you've clicked the link, go to Files, No Intro, and then search for Nintendo 64 and click on the directory named Big Endian. Then search for Ocarina of Time and with brackets USA, the same way I type it. Download the one not labeled Rev1 or Rev2. This is because most mods are made with the original copy of the game in mind, so downloading one of the revision copies might lead to some problems. After you have your copy downloaded, put it in the same place where I put it. Back in your mod loader folder, click on mod loader again, and then ROMs, and put your zip file in there. Then extract it in that same folder. Now that you have your own copy of Ocarina of Time, after you hit the refresh button in your Games tab, it should look something like this. The third and final method is the simplest, but also the least accessible. If you happen to know me personally, just shoot me a message and I'll give you my copy. Now that you all have your own copy of the game, we can get into setting up a controller. While you can play on just a keyboard, I don't recommend it. If you're using anything other than an Xbox controller, then you'll have some problems. You are going to need some third-party software to make it work properly. If you're using a Switch controller, I recommend BetterJoyForCemu. If you're using a PlayStation controller, you should use DS4 Windows. I'll leave a link to both of these pieces of software in the description for anyone that needs them. Now that you have a controller, we can configure it in the emulator. Open the game back up, and in the top left, click on Utility, then Input Config. It's important to make sure that the input device is set to your controller and not your keyboard. Keep in mind that sometimes the emulator will forget what device you want to use, and you'll have to come back to that menu and fix it. These are my preferred controls for the game, but you can do whatever you want. If you really don't know what you're doing, or you just don't want to figure it out for yourself, then you can copy mine. Next, we'll be talking about randomizers and different mods for the game. If you ask me, this is the part where things get really interesting. In case you don't know what a randomizer is, I'll take some time here to explain. A randomizer is a mod for the game that shuffles the placement of all of the items. For example, if this chest had a sword in it in the regular version of the game, in a randomizer it could be a slingshot or any other item. The randomizer keeps the game fresh for people who have already played it a lot and keeps you thinking no matter how many times you play it. If you want to play a randomizer yourself, go to the link in the description labeled randomizer and pick the settings you like. You can choose what items or locations you want to be randomized, but it's up to you what you think you can handle. After you've picked all your settings, you can hit generate seed. It might take a little bit. When it's done generating the seed, you can mess with the cosmetics and sound effects, but that's completely optional and I won't be doing it. Click the browse button, then navigate to your Zelda folder, then mod loader again, and then ROMs. Here you'll select your copy of the game. After that, click the patch ROM button at the bottom of the page. This might also take a little while. Now you have a randomized version of the game. Open mod loader, then go to the Games tab and open your Games folder. Put the file you just downloaded in there and give it a different name if you want. Whatever the file is named is what will show up in the mod loader menu. Hit refresh games and select the randomizer. Now, when you start the game, it should launch the randomized version. If you're playing a randomizer online with your friends, you need to all be using the same randomized copy, but it's okay if you have it named differently. Now, if you want the quality of life of a randomizer without actually randomizing anything, you can still do that. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, let me explain. Because the randomizer is made for people who are really familiar with the game, it also has a lot of features that make repeat playthroughs of the game more enjoyable. Things like instant text and skipped cutscenes add a lot of replayability. The version of the game with all of these features and no randomized items is called the Vanillamizer. To play a Vanillamizer for yourself, click the link in the description labeled Vanillamizer and upload your ROM. While I don't know if you can change the settings, you can still change the cosmetics by clicking Override Original Cosmetics, which is right above the Patch ROM button. Once everything is set up in a way you like, click Patch ROM and move the downloaded file to the same place as your original copy of the game. In Mod Loader, refresh your Games folder and select the Vanillamizer. Now when you launch the game, it'll be a Vanillamizer. If you want to play online, your friends have to also be using a Vanillamizer, but I don't think it has to be the exact same file. That about wraps it up for randomizers. I was supposed to put mods in this section too, but it's already long enough that I can justify giving mods their own mini part instead of leaving them here. So next, we'll be going over mods. When it comes to mods, there's two different kinds you can get. Community mods are closer to what you're probably thinking when you hear the word mods. They have an effect on the actual gameplay or give you access to some new menus. Cosmetic mods are for cosmetics. They change the model of Link or his equipment. To download some mods for yourself, go to the link in the description labeled Mod Loader website and click on either the Community or Cosmetic mod tabs, depending on what you want. Here, I clicked on the Community mods. just click on the name of the mod you want, and if it doesn't automatically download, then download the file ending with .pack. Then open Mod Loader, go to the Mods tab, click Open Mods folder, and put your newly downloaded mod in there. The process is the same for cosmetic mods too. I go to the cosmetic mods, click on the one I want, and drop it in the mods folder. Every time you install a new mod or get rid of an old one, you'll have to refresh your mods and select the ones you want to have active. Now to actually get the mods working in game. First, open the game. Sometimes this takes a while, so be patient. Immediately, you should see the Mods tab at the top of the window. Clicking it will show you a drop-down list of all of the community mods you have downloaded, and to access your cosmetic mods, you can click on OOTO, then Costume Manager. This will bring up a separate window where you can manage all of your cosmetics individually. Let me show you how it looks in game. First, I'll change Link's model to the one in the sequel game, Majora's Mask. Then, I'll use Custom Tunic Redux to change my tunic to a purple color. And there you have it. Now you know how to use and install mods. With that out of the way, I've taught you everything I have to know. If you have any other questions, you can probably find them from other sources, or you can feel free to leave a comment. Chances are, though, you're probably fine to leave now. There is an extra chapter after this, but there's nothing for you to learn. It's just little extra stuff. I hope this video gave you what you were looking for, but that'll be everything. I hope you have a wonderful day, and goodbye. Hello. This part of the video is not scripted at all. It's just my little space to ramble, just talk a little bit. This video is actually an LA project, so, don't expect any more in the future, because there won't be any. Sorry if my voice is a little weird. I've been sick kind of on and off during the recording. So I have my air conditioner on, so sometimes the audio quality is not so good. You might have seen the little guys I sprinkled around the video. I think they're neat. They're the little emoji guys from the Triforce Heroes game on the 3DS. They didn't have a purple one, but Purple Link is my favorite, so I went on a little side quest when I was making the video, and I made a bunch of purple ones. Here they all are. I probably had them on screen before I said this, but here they are. Aren't they cute? I like them. If you could probably tell. If you're here for information, you should have left. That's not what this is. I hope you enjoyed the video, though. Not too much, because I won't be back, like, ever. If, I guess, a bunch of people need a Zelda tutorial, and then they show up and they're like, "Whoa, this guy's awesome," maybe I'll make some videos. But this took longer than it should have. Like, a lot of procrastinating, a lot of nothing. Still, though, hope you like it. It was fun to make. It was really fun to make. Even though, like, it took forever. I just did not work on it, like, at all. I hope it was useful. It was my birthday recently. I went to America. That was cool. It's been real eventful lately. Lots of stuff happened. Yeah, that's about it. Like, for real this time. I'm ending the video. I hope somebody thinks this is neat. That's my goal. I want to make something that someone thinks is neat. I think it's neat. So, I guess I kind of already won. But, just silly. Bye-bye.